Everybody, it's Dr. Maya Elephant, Mama Soul Doc. I'm not a medical doctor or a mental health care practitioner. I recorded this video yesterday, but it did not come out great, so I'm redoing it. So if you already saw this one, you can skip this message. What I was talking about was, why do I like the conversational method so much? Why am I so invested in it? So on the flip side of the conversational method, we have all of our standard methodologies, which are talk therapy, we got EMDR, rapid eye movement, we have IFS, internal family system, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, we have classical regression, we have classical hypnosis, which includes induction, deepening, convincers, etc. There are truly many options, and I have tried them all, and they have all got lots going for them. So I'm not trying to say that they're not good in themselves. What I am pointing out is what's different about that than what I have chosen to do myself. So what's distinctive about the traditional methods is that they are methodological. And what that means is they follow a protocol. For example, EMDR is about installing resources, then using the rapid eye movement to neutralize emotional reactions and balance the brain. And so the client is following instructions as to how to make their brain do this. Similar in all of them. Talk therapy has a kind of, solution-based conversation. What do you want to do about that? How are you going to cope with that? Um, internal family systems has to do with this organizing of the family contracts and family relationships. So there are so many ways to, um, you know, what's that expression? Skin a cat, which is not a great expression. But anyway, there's all these great ways to get our mental health in order. The conversational method does not depend on any pre-established formula. Okay, so it's content free. What that means is when the client is in front of me, there's no instructions. There's no, okay, here, this is what we're going to do. For example, sometimes you tell a client, okay, you're going to relax now, right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes, relax, go deeper. And what is the client thinking during that? They're thinking, I don't feel relaxed. I actually feel kind of unrelaxed because you're telling me that I'm supposed to feel relaxed, right? Or even worse, sometimes someone closes their eyes and you don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're saying, fuck this stupid thing. I don't like this. This isn't working, right? So we're telling people to relax. We're hoping they're relaxing, but we just don't know. So what I'm doing with the conversational method is just eliminating that. We're eliminating any concern about what the client's response is to our instructions. And this is very powerful because it does two important things. For one thing, it eliminates the power distinction between therapist and client. Because if you sit down in front of me and I say to you, okay, this is what I know, and you're going to follow my instructions, I am putting myself on a pedestal and telling you this is how you're going to heal. Which I'm not saying is incorrect, but I am saying creates a certain kind of recalcitrance in some clients. Just like when you tell a kid, put your shoes on. Okay, well, it's not that they don't want to put their shoes on. It's just that the instructions sometimes when they're given create that oppositional or resistant reaction. So I'm not ever going to ask the client or tell the client how this process is going to unfold. Of course, I teach a course in this, so it takes 3 days to teach it. So what am I teaching during that? Well, I'm not teaching you to do nothing because then there would be nothing to do for 3 days. So there is a certain kind of approach. There's a certain kind of feel to it. There's a structure that I loosely assign to you. So there are linchpins and landmarks for how to get this process done, but it's not prescriptive. And the non-prescriptiveness of it is exactly what sets it apart. Why is that? Because it allows the client to be the source of progress. It allows the client to be the source of the solution. So knowing, as I've told you guys millions of times, knowing that the subconscious mind is so powerful, like the horsepower of it is 300 million hours of continuous television. It's a lot of horsepower. And if I put my method on top of that horsepower, I'm sort of shielding you from what you inherently already have available to you. So the conversational method is intentionally content free because that's what gives me and you, the client, access to the true breadth of possibility. So it's not that there's anything wrong with traditional methods. It's not that I don't like traditional methods. I've used them. I've been in therapy myself for a long time, and I believe in that for sure. What I'm saying is there's another contrasting approach, which I think is more effective and more permanent just because it does not undermine the client before they even said anything. So instead of me making an assumption about that I know how to help you when I don't even know you, that's the honest truth. Instead, I'm using a different method to allow you to find your solution by the mechanism that is natural and inherent to you that you yourself have not been able to get in touch with. So I think that also explains why people get so excited by it, because once you tap into that, once you touch into that part of yourself, there's no going back. And that's a very significant, powerful, life altering. I don't like that whole thing of life changing because let's not get too crazy, but it's definitely, it is life changing because the access point to that piece of you is going to affect how you think about your life and problems and anything else that comes up ever, including, how you consider your own potential and your own future. So the point of the story is instead of overlaying a methodology or instead of implying that I know something about you based on my education, which you guys see my wall behind me, I've done tons of education. It's not that I don't believe in it, I do. It's just that I know that what I learned back in school has nothing to do with you, because let's be honest, you weren't there and I wasn't there with you. So we have to start where we are, which is in the moment. And in the moment, what we need to do is not impose all of our historical, traditional view of everything because it's out of date. That's the bottom line. And so I love this method because we're living in the modern AI moment. We're not living in the whatever it was 50s, 60s, 70s anymore. And the way that therapy and therapeutic methods have evolved since then have not kept up with entirely the speed at which the neuroplastic mind is known to evolve. So I'm basically saying I'm going to apply a non-method in a methodological way, which is what I teach in the course, so that we can circumvent the traditional assumption-based protocol, which I believe has a lot of opportunity to undercut the client's own potential. So it's kind of a long-winded way of saying content free is more open-ended than some kind of rigid methodology. And in that freedom comes the permanence of the solution and the speed of it. So all the study is good as a building block, but it's not what has really come out in my clinic. What I've learned in the clinical experience is to let that all go and use it as a backdrop, but not as the motor of the healing sessions. Okay, so let me know if you have questions about that. Thanks for watching. This is Dr. Maya Alpin in Montreal, Quebec. Thanks for listening.